Glorious house of folks, our mother clap, our father clap, red, yellow, and gray is beautiful and glorious house. Oh, glorious house. Oh, we will build a great foundation with our colors, red, yellow, and blue house. Is a mighty. Oh, as 11 is a mighty. As 11 is a mighty. Oh, arose, arose, arose. Be quiet and don't be silly. We are the famous house of folks. We never say
monitored the press conference of our board of directors yesterday, and we wish to express our displeasure over the posture of the board chairman in support of Mr. Odote and Alhaji Akanbi, and refusing to acknowledge the role of the supporters, especially during the 2021-2022 league season, which Accra House of Folk won 5 trophies and won everything on the local scene. It's unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. Yesterday, we did not hear our board chairman acknowledge this, and we are just shocked, because many of you, the media, will attest to the fact the role of the supporters at the Liberty Sports Stadium when we came from 1-0 down and won that match by 2-1. If you remember very well, how the supporters were chanting for 90 minutes, and yet our role was never acknowledged yesterday by our board chairman. That is very unfortunate.
The NCC and Mr. Odote, isn't it? Okay. So until last Sunday, I can speak for myself that I don't know about another executives, okay? But I can speak for myself that until last Sunday, I don't have issue with Mr. Odote. I even remember that about a month ago, he called me. He called me and wanted me to draw a plan for us to organize a rally in Kumasi. So I was really shocked when he charged on me that day. I had a very good relationship with him, even though you must admit that we are not friends, okay? It's only football that brings us together, but we were not fighting. I can't talk further. So that's my answer for the first question, if it's clear. Okay. The second one. Okay. So the second one is, has the NCC presented anything to the board? A little over 3 months ago, the NCC presented a letter to the board requesting humbly to meet the board to discuss issues that, is of interest to our supporters. We made a follow-up through the administrator at the secretariat, but I think our efforts yielded no results until now. So if you ask me, I hope I've answered your question. Yes, indeed, the NCC, some few months ago, or let me say a little over 3 months ago, wrote to the board, not even a reply. We have not received a reply, not verbally or on paper. So I hope I've set the record straight, please. Okay, the next one. So somebody asked a question about what happened on Sunday, our position. I think that was for Unibrena, isn't it?
No, I didn't ask the question. I'm trying to find out what necessitated that and what you are doing to get us to understand, better appreciate the...
Very, very good question from Unibrena. What necessitated that? Okay. I may not be able to identify all that necessitated that though, but I can say that prior to the match or before the match, I think that we all raised the expectations of the supporters. It's on record that even one of our board members, Elijah Akambi, said on radio that the board is going to use all ways and means to ensure qualification for Accra House of Folk. This was from our board member. We, the supporters, were also excited, and we also went on radio, we went on national television, calling on our supporters to come to the stadium because we knew victory was awaiting us. So if you ask me, maybe one of the factors that necessitated what happened last Sunday could be that. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, please. Or you want me to... Yeah, all I mean is that the expectations were high. You see, we played against a team like Real Bamako. We thought that this was our West African neighbors, unlike the North Africans, and for that matter, they were small fly. We could overcome easily. Okay, even though we lost by 3-0, we were so optimistic that we can overcome that team. And also, like I said, one of our board members was on national radio saying that they were going to use all possible ways and means to ensure qualification. We, the supporters leaders, also went on radio and on TV, okay, requesting our supporters to troop to the stadium because we thought victory was coming. So I thought it was the expectation. The supporters could not phantom why we lost that game. I thought that was the reason. So,
let me add that as the board chairman, we want to know the position of Mr. Odute and Akambi, what role they play for the club. Because it looks like they are ministers without portfolio, so you can't ask them for accountability. So even if we're talking about performance, you can't talk to Odute as to what role he played as a board member. Whether they are board members, they are management members, we don't know the difference. It's like they are playing both roles. So we want him to clearly tell us what they do, so that if we want accountability, we know who to ask and at what time. Because now it looks like he's running a structure that we don't even understand. Decisions are taken by 3 people, and Accra House of Folk is bigger than that. So we need to know the structure we are playing. It is not the entire board that takes decision. I read something from their press yesterday that Akambi, Mr. Elijah Akambi and Mr. Odute are his trusted people. We don't have any problem with that, but we want to know what they do. Does he give them targets? How does he assess them? Because if you are saying they are so far performing so well, we want to know what they have been able to achieve that we, the supporters, don't know. Because at the end of the day, he will pay them, and that goes into Accra House of Folk debts. There's a new coach in town. The NCC, we don't know anything about him. As to what his performance contract is going to be, we don't know. How do we assess him? How do we assess his performance? And looking at his records, I don't think he has performed better than our former coach, Buelu. So we want to know what went into that, bringing in a coach. And honestly, last week Sunday, supporters were very mad because we were going into an African game competition. And for that matter, every serious club will plan towards that. You don't sack your coach 1 week into going into an African game. And you also saw the performance. I don't know how long that coach trained with the boys before he made his selection for the game. We came back home. The same coach playing such a game decided to start with players who have never even played Premiership before and benching experienced players that even if you are not a follower of football, you know those boys cannot do anything for the club. And so that's brought the anger. So if you were here at the stadium as a lay person sitting at the stands, the moment the boys were walking into the pitch, we knew what was going to happen. And so these are some of the things. So we want to know what the coach is going to be paid. How much he's going to be paid. What is the contract between Accra House of Hope and the new coach, so that when it starts, we can ask for accountability. Thank you.
You see, before